And for me, we were brothers. Yeah, I still miss him. But I wonder sometimes now, would we get together? We don't know. First time I saw them, they were in a cellar in England teaching Stu Sutcliffe how to play bass. And we were the big shots, Rory and the Hurricanes, you know, we had suits. And the next time I really saw them, we were in Germany. They were in one club and we were in another. And then Kashmir, the guy who owned the clubs, just had to put us both together. And that's where I got to really appreciate that front line of John, Paul and George. Sure. I love that line.
You know, I was working and playing before I joined them. You know, I was in the top bands in Liverpool anyway. Right. I had my own following then. You know, it's I was fulfilling my dream, and then they came along.
I just loved that front line. And, you know, we would do at the weekend 12 hours between us. And I'd be there for the last gig, you know, just sitting there watching the front line, requesting songs. No, but I sat in a couple of times, you know. I'd be the proper musician, you know, at 12 o'clock, Brian Epstein would knock on the front door because you're still in bed, because you've been up all night, and say, well, could you come down to the cavern and play with the lads? I say, sure.
Where was their drummer?
I don't know. You'll have to ask him.
Yeah, I know.
It was a Wednesday, and Brian called. I don't remember John calling, though. It's in somebody's book. Would you join the band? And I said, what do you mean? He said, no, really join the band. And I said, sure, yeah, when? And he said, now. And I said, no, I can't do that. Because we've got these other four guys here. We've got a gig for months, and, you know, I can't just pull out now and it'll all end. So I said, I'll join you Saturday. Yeah, so then they asked, and I had no hesitation, but people did say, are you going to leave Rory? And I said, yeah, I'm going to leave. You know, you just make her step up.
Well, what did you think the Beatles' chances were of really making it? What was your assessment of the band when you joined it?
I joined the band because they were the best band I'd heard. And that was how I played. I moved my career through Liverpool, of course, to, you know, if I could get into a better band, I would. And that's how I did it. You know, my aim was to play with good players, and that's what I did. I mean, the aim was not really to, you know, be big and famous. It was just to play with really good people.
Did it sound like you were doing something revolutionary, something extraordinarily different, something unusual, something phenomenal?
No,
what was the?
It just felt great. I didn't think it was revolutionary or, you know, anything like that. It just was a great band to be in, and it was a good time playing in that band.
When you play that?
We were doing a lot of songs that no one else was doing, but I don't think I ever thought, well, we're doing such a move on the other side compared to anyone else. We were just doing a lot of different stuff, and also they were writing them, and that was really freaky in those days, you know. You see, it went in stages. I mean, I can't answer that question, you know. We did the first record. I mean, you thought, God, we're going to be big. I don't think no one can conceive, you know, that we were going to be as big as we were. My tiny brain wouldn't acknowledge it. I mean, I wanted to play the Palladium. That was big. Then we did the Palladium, oh, that was over with. And then we did Europe, and that was great. And then America was freaky. I think it's all part of where we came from as well. But, you know, I always give credit that there was, you know, we're talking about the Beatles, there were four of us. I mean, I was in Rory Storm and the Hurricanes, but there were four of us, and we all from the same city, and we would look at each other. You know, if one of us would be freaking out or being a big shot, three other people would go, excuse me?
What about your own contribution to the Beatles? I was probably the factor they needed, because I was last to join. I mean, you know, and then it took off. I don't know, it probably would have taken off without me, I don't know, but I think, you know, as I say, I'm a fatalist, and I arrived there, and then it takes off. And I was probably the personality that the three of them needed to fit in with as a foursome.
Okay. Just before he died, John Lennon said about you, whatever that spark is in Ringo, there's something in him that would have surfaced with or without the Beatles. Do you think he was right?
Sure.
Yeah, what is it?
I was living before the Beatles, and I'm living after, you know.
Yeah, no question about it.
So you're absolutely right.
Okay, but did you know it even then?
Yeah.
You seem to be the more industrious Beatle.
No, I'm the laziest Beatle, actually.
Are you?
Yeah, see, that's just my image. You know, I'm quite happy to finish an LP and go and sit back. But I can enjoy myself just sitting back, you know, and playing at home with all the toys.
The word I always got was that Paul was not open to suggestion about the music, but John was. John was more open to, if you said, hey, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that, he would listen. Paul was more exacting. He knew exactly what he wanted.
You know, we have to thank Paul for the amount of music we put out, because he's the workaholic.
Right.
John and I would be sitting in the garden, and the phone would ring, and we'd say, we know it's him. We just knew by the ring. He wants to go to work.
Yeah.
Hey, should we go in the studio, lads?
Right.
And that's what we'd do.
So he was the motivating force.
He was.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know if anyone else's personality would have fit in, because I'm easygoing, and they are three very strong characters, you know? So if you'd have had another one, it may have been loggerheads all the time, so I was like pacifist. Do you ever see I don't consciously remember doing it, you know. You ask me questions, I'm just trying to think. Yeah. Criticism you received a lot of, didn't you? Oh, yeah. They never thought I could play, you see.
You get one song to listen to for the rest of your life. What is it?
Come Together.
Wow. Wow, I think we just made news. I think is that your favorite Beatles song?
Yeah. There's lots of others favorites, but I mean, if you want one, Come Together can't be bad.
Why? Why Come Together?
I just think it worked perfectly with the band and the song and John being John.
Right.
I love that moment.
See, I never really liked Sgt. Pepper.
You didn't?
I mean, I think it's a fine album, you know? I mean, it is a fine album, and all the work we do is fine, but I think I felt like a session man on it. You know, and all of it. So, I mean, people keep saying, oh, Sgt. Pepper, it's a fine album, but just for me emotionally, I prefer Abbey Road and a lot of the White Album. And the early albums for different reasons, you know, this was later on.
You know, you close every show with a little Help from My Friends.
Yeah.
You know the crowd is going to explode.
Yeah.
It's going to be a moment for them. What's your relationship to that song now? You know what the audience's relationship is.
I love that song. Yeah. And I thank Paul. I mean, I can go on tour because he wrote that song for me. And, you know, Yellow Submarine, they're the two major songs for my audience.